The year was 2019. Godzilla just beat King Ghidorah in Boston. Godzilla went back to the ocean to rest up and gain radiation. However, Godzilla introduced accidentally introduced to an infection Ghidorah brought from space. When Godzilla killed Ghidorah, the infectious gas entered through his body, through Godzilla's gills and nose. Godzilla's mind and body was changing. His eyes were getting blurry. So he switched to his thermal vision. His skin was being rotted. On his arms, his hand, face, leg, and his side. He doesn't know what's going on with him. His brain isn't functioning. He's getting more aggressive. Hello everybody, it's King Goji. This is my first official What If that I promised. And if you like it, I'll keep making more. We're in a few days closer to Halloween, so why not make a horror What If? In this universe, Ghidorah had carried an infection from space by breathing in a gas in the stars. So when he came to Earth years ago, the gas got weaker inside his body, so the moment Godzilla went thermonuclear, it made the gas so strong it would affect any kaiju it enters. Done with a little info dump, let's continue with the what if, shall we? After a few days, Godzilla finally lost his mind. He was swimming for so long the skin on his side came off, showing his ribs, and the skin on his hand came off, showing bones. After he found Scylla, who was on the ocean floor resting, Godzilla was going top speed, tackling her to the ground, waking her up and confusing her a lot. Why was Godzilla attacking her? But when she fully woke up and realized Godzilla wasn't the same, she tried escaping by stabbing into him with her legs, and tried stopping him from biting her. Scylla was trying her best to get away by shooting webs and using her shell to protect and tentacles to keep his mouth closed. The zombie Godzilla was clawing at Scylla, but her shell was protecting her. The zombie Godzilla's dorsal plates start glowing blue. He still knows how to use his abilities. He fired his atomic breath at Scylla, but she quickly moved out of the way. She realized Godzilla was using thermal vision, and his eyes didn't seem to work as well as they did before. So she quickly turned down her body heat enough to where Godzilla can no longer see her. He then swims away, looking for another Titan to find and feed on. A few months later, Godzilla started infecting other monsters like Methuselah, Rodan, the Iron Dragon, Queen Muto, Abaddon, Murderfish, and Abzu, building up an army to take over the world. Godzilla was sending his army to infect other Titans, sending Rodan into the Hollow Earth, the Murderfish, and Abzu to find more Water Titans to infect, the Iron Dragon to fly around the world to find lone Titans to infect, the Queen Muto to infect more Mutos to bring into his army. The Iron Dragon was flying around Brazil, finding Behemoth, wandering around. The Iron Dragon went at top speed to attack Behemoth, but Behemoth turned his head around just in time to see the zombie Iron Dragon was going to attack him. So he uses his tusks to slash into the Iron Dragon, but when Behemoth turns away, since the Iron Dragon was sliced into super deep, you can see its organs. But the Iron Dragon gets up and bites Behemoth bites into Behemoth's leg, ripping into his flesh. Behemoth grabs the Iron Dragon and pull it away, but the Iron Dragon quickly bites into Behemoth's arms and using his claws to injure and infect Behemoth more and more. Behemoth was quickly feeling the effects of the infection, making him insane and wanting to feed. In the ocean, the zombie murderfish and Abzu were swimming around to find more to infect. They found Tiamat swimming around alone, confused about what's going on in the world right now. No monsters were attacking the same. When she sees the zombies coming at her. She quickly reacted using her electrognetic cells on the zombies, electrocuting them to keep them away. She started swimming around, making a whirlpool around Abzu to distract them. Tiamat Tiamat quickly calls around the zombie Monsterverse using all her strength to crush its body splitting into two. After that was done, she used her phosphorus ink and the whirlpool to melt the zombie Abzu to be nothing but bones. However, in the Hollow Earth, Rodan has infected warbats, spine prowlers, war dogs, drowned vipers, and more. The zombie Rodan flies around more until finding a deeper part of the Hollow Earth where he finds a cavern where the great apes thought to be extinct were found. He quickly goes to attack, but a bone whip goes around his neck and slams the zombie on the ground. The great Scar King found this new discovery odd. A titan acting so unusual. Clearly, he decided to check what's going on, but Rodan was flailing around and trying to bite at Scar King. So Scar King brought out his greatest weapon, Shimo. Shimo, when she came out, Rodan quickly escaped and went to attack her, but a frostbite blast hit the zombie Rodan, freezing him in place with a zombie and infection, and killing the zombie and infection in a matter of seconds. Infected kaiju of the Hollow Earth started flooding out of portals around the world to join Godzilla's army. When the zombie spine prowlers came out of the portals of Skull Island, where they start to infect Skur Buffaloes, Spirit Tigers, Skull Crawlers, Siren Jaws, Snare Hunters, and Killer Chameleons. Kong was walking around in a storm surrounded by Skull Island. He roars loudly when a zombie Skullcrawler crawls onto a mountain to attack him, but Kong quickly grabs a tree to making a spear. He starts fighting the zombie using the spear to keep the zombie away by stabbing into the zombie and hitting it away. More zombies keep coming, but an unlikely ally appeared, sending trees through zombies. Amulek looked way more different than usual. He's on 4 legs, has mountains on him as armor, and he had some of Yuggoth's body on him, having mushrooms on his back as well. His tail has 12 Thagamizers as weapons. Kong was quickly given the rundown of what's happening by Amulek and how Godzilla became a zombie and is having an army to rule over the planet. Kong and Amulek went around Skull Island. Kong has to be more careful since Amulek is immune because he doesn't have flesh to infect. He can wander around more freely. When Kong and Amulek find their way to near a Hollow Earth portal, zombie killer chameleons come out. Kong quickly grabs ribs to use his weapons, but Amulek wants Kong to leave since he can be infected, but Kong doesn't want to leave. But Amulek sends him through a portal anyway. Amulek starts fighting the killer chameleons as Kong falls through the portal, shooting him into the ground. It was so silent. The Hollow Earth was abandoned. Kong sharpens the spears to be daggers to make sure if any zombies are around. Kong walks for miles, finding anything that isn't infected but nothing. Kong keeps going and going until he finds something in a deeper part of the Hollow Earth. He quickly jumps down to find even more things. He walks around more and more until he finds more of his species. Finally, he isn't alone anymore. He runs towards the apes, calling out to them as a friend, but the apes are on guard. But Scar King comes out after finding out that the zombies has changed from being ruthless to... Okay. But Scar King comes out after finding out about the zombies have changed from being ruthless. Okay, Scar King has changed since these zombies started appearing. He's became less ruthless to be more compassionate, bringing Kong in quickly to feed him and give him rest. Scar King has even destroyed the crystal he used on Shima to give her more food and rest to regain her peak strength. Scar King walks around with Kong on the weapons they made with crystals, armor with skeletons, and old Godzilla species dorsal plates as shields. However, one weapon Scar King gave Kong was the axe ancient Kongs used in the war with the Godzilla species. He trusted Kong could use this the best because how much stronger he is and how much of a strategic thinker he was. On the surface, Monarch and Apex were working together on a project. They used to be at odds, but with the zombies titans running around, they had no choice but to work together. Project Mechagodzilla. With using Dagon's and Ghidorah's skeletons as the base for the mecha, when it was using Ghidorah's and skeleton as the base for the mech. When it was completed, it was sent to mountains to find the Valley of Eaten Monsters. The one that caused it was a zombie, Methuselah, that busted out of the mountain to fight the mech. Mechagodzilla fired missiles, but it barely did a thing to Methuselah. Methuselah slams its arms down, sending large parts of the mountains at Mechagodzilla. However, Mechagodzilla started dodging using the thrusters on his body. Mechagodzilla fired his proton scream, cutting through mountain shards coming towards it. Methuselah grabs the mech's tail and slams it onto the ground and flings it across, hitting a mountain, damaging parts of the mech. The mech gets up, activating full weapons mode, firing saws from its chest, slicing through the zombie's arms. Mechagodzilla jumped high in the air with its thrusters, doing a barrel roll, using his thrusters, doing a barrel roll in the air, tail whipping Methuselah in the face. But Methuselah grabs the mech by the face, trying to crush it and slam it it slams the mech on the ground. However, a proton screen comes through the zombie's hand, making Methuselah back away. Mechagodzilla activates an energy increase forming a dagger from its hand, stabbing into the zombie's face. Then he left the dagger, bringing it back his hands. Mechagodzilla fired another proton screen, cutting through the zombie Methuselah's face, then cutting through the zombie Methuselah's face, then the zombie Methuselah's face, then slowly going down to cut through the whole body. Mothra flew through the Hollow Earth portal after being attacked by zombie Mutas, but gladly she wasn't infected by using her silk and God rays to avoid them. She found Kong and Scar King in the Hollow Earth. She was aware of Scar King's past, but she had to work with him anyway since they had a new common enemy, the King of the Dead, Godzilla. Scar King was putting skeleton armor on Mothra to make sure she won't be infected. Kong and Scar King were on Shimo as his army follows suit. They appeared in China, where they found a new friend in this war, Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla was stationed there, so they were wary of this new mechanical creature, but they had to deal with it. Scylla and Tiamat joined them as well. They're going to be in the water to kill zombies before they get onto land. Godzilla and his army of the undead appeared. Some stragglers in the water were being killed by Tiamat and Scylla. Scar King gave his battle cry, and every single non-infected Titan and Mechagodzilla went over for the final stand. Shimo and Mechagodzilla were working together, taking on zombie Mutos, freezing them, and then Mechagodzilla destroying them with his proton screen. Many apes are throwing spears, taking down zombie skullcrawlers, spine prowlers, and smaller zombie monsters, so they aren't overwhelmed if surrounded, and none will be infected by a smaller zombie biting them. Mothra flew high in the sky, intercepting the zombie ion dragon using her god rays to send it flying backwards, using her silk to trap zombies to the ground so the non-infected will kill them. Scar King stopped a rushing zombie behemoth by doing a somersault, using his whip to wrap around its tusk, then pulling hard enough to rip it out. Scar King grins, now swinging his whip around, slashing many zombies. He jumped high in the air, stabbing Behemoth's head with his own tusk. He then pulled out the tusk, throwing it and it stabs through a zombie Abaddon. Zombie Godzilla finally made his presence known. He fired his atomic breath into Shimo, and Mechagodzilla roaring in a loud, gurgling scream. Kong starts running at the zombie Godzilla. This was his moment to prove himself, to fix things. Kong slashed the zombie Godzilla in the neck, making him stop using his atomic breath. Godzilla goes for a bite at Kong, but Kong uses the handle of the axe to stop the bites and the slashes. Kong punches Godzilla in the head, making the eyeball that was hanging down explode on impact. The zombie Godzilla growls, tail whipping Kong away, but Scar King jumps off Kong's shoulder, wrapping his whip around Godzilla's neck. Then Mechagodzilla uppercutting Godzilla high enough for Scar King to throw the king over his shoulder, slamming him onto the ground. Shimo and Mothra were dealing with the zombie horde more, but it was starting to get overwhelming. However, roars in the sky halted the zombies. From the sky, Amulek was dropped down, slamming onto the horde of female Muto zombies. Then the kaiju that helped came down. Camazotz joined the war. Camazotz uses Sonic's roar, sending zombies away. Amulek and Camazotz stand strong, facing zombie female Mutos. Stand strong facing the zombie female Muto. Then they work together in a sync to take down the zombie queen Muto, making the final zombie Muto stand still, no longer taking orders, left them at a stone, making them easy to kill. Zombie Godzilla stood up, firing a nuclear pulse, flinging Mechagodzilla and Scar King away. Kong joined back into the battle, slamming the axe onto Godzilla's shoulder and ripping it out quickly to give a dropkick in Godzilla's skull. Godzilla was in a zombie rage, firing a red atomic breath. For firing it so much, his blood stained it. It flung Kong away, the axe collecting the radiation, but it was out of reach. Scar King's whip goes around the axe, throwing it to Kong before the red atomic breath hits him, burning his fur and skin, leaving him lifeless. Kong caught the axe and slams it against Godzilla's face, making the red explosion happen. Godzilla's skin was ripped off, showing a skull. He roars in rage. But when Mechagodzilla fires his proton screen, slamming against Godzilla's back, Godzilla had enough. Godzilla had enough. Atomic energy covers his body, and the tail whips Mechagodzilla's head off, and fired a red nuclear pulse, sending everything away, leaving nothing but dust. Mothra flies towards Godzilla, but his red atomic breath cuts her in half. Amulek jumps onto Godzilla's back and uses his psychic blast, but Godzilla fires a nuclear pulse from his back, sending Amulek in the air, falling on the ground. Shimo tail whips Godzilla, slicing his stomach, sending him away, but Godzilla fired his red beam into the ground, making it explode, sending Shimo down to fall, leaving Godzilla to walk towards the passed out Kong. However, Camazotz's sonic scream hits Godzilla, making the zombie cover its ears. It being so loud, the zombie is going deaf. Camazotz's tail smacks Godzilla back at the head. The zombie was disoriented, looking around for Camazotz with his thermal vision. Fired his red atomic breath around, trying to hit him. A storm was coming in. Thunderstorms covered Camazotz, but the zombie felt him. But the zombie felt him. So he tail whipped Camazotz onto the ground, cracking the earth below him. Godzilla roars loudly. The world was his, but a thunderstrike hit the ground, making an explosion. Kong slowly got up. His body was shooting electricity out of him. His eyes had a blue hue. Godzilla turns around to see Kong awake. His body His body temperature is so hot he can barely see Kong. Kong throws the axe at Godzilla, slicing his arm off completely, and as the axe come back towards him, Kong smirks and runs at Godzilla at full speed. His reflexes seem to be so enhanced his body moves at the slightest movement of Godzilla made for an attack. Kong punched Godzilla in the face. Breaking the zombie's jaw on impact, shooting electricity through the zombie's body, frying its organs. Godzilla tries to go for a bite, but Kong sidesteps and punches Godzilla in his stomach, electricity coming down and striking Godzilla in the back. Godzilla goes for a slash with his only arm, but Kong grabs it and crushes his boned hand. Godzilla fired his red atomic breath at Kong, but Kong blocks it with his axe, collecting all the radiation. Kong punched Godzilla, sending him away with a strong electric blast. Kong slowly walked towards Godzilla. Godzilla fired all he had at Kong, but his atomic breath being hot enough to make the surface of a blazar, being hot enough to match the surface of a blazar. But Kong dodged this and slammed the axe down on Godzilla's back. The explosion is so strong it destroys his dorsal plates. The zombie Godzilla was struggling to stand up, running out of radiation. Kong drops the axe and has all the electricity flow to his hands and slam down. His electrical explosion comes so high it flows through space. Kong holds up the zombie Godzilla's head in victory, letting out an alpha roar. All non-infected kaiju that are left, Scylla, Tiamat, Amulek, Shimo, Camazotz, the Great Apes, Nakika, Mikole no Bimbe, Yamara no Orochi, Leviathan, Quetzalcoatl, non-infected smaller kaiju bow to our new king, King Kong. Thank you all so much for watching. This took so long, and you probably hear it in the video. I'm barely able to talk right now. I hope you all had so much fun making this. I hope you all had so much fun watching this. This might be my longest video to date. I had so much fun making this. I hope you all did as well. If you all want more what ifs, I'll 100% make more in the future. But for now, I hope you all. But I have to go back to my regular content because I have so much to do. This is probably my most edited video also too. So, yeah. I hope you had a good day, night, or evening, and I'll see y'all next time. See ya.